Hello everybody, welcome to Ruby Falcon. Today we're going to be making a mushroom risotto. Buckle up, this one takes a while to make. We're probably looking at 2.5 to 3 hours of preparation and cooking time inclusive. This is probably one of the longest recipes I'm ever going to share with you. But don't worry, this video will not be that long, and it's actually not as scary to make as a lot of people think. Let's take a look at what we need to make it, alright? To make my mushroom risotto, you are going to need 135 grams of Arborio rice. You're going to need 900 milliliters of mushroom broth, 4 ounces, that's 120 milliliters of white wine. I'm using an Italian Orvieto from Santa Cristina. You're going to need 2 tablespoons, that's 30 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil. You're going to need 55 grams of Parmesan cheese, shredded, and 25 grams of butter. You're also going to need 2 portobello mushrooms, 1 medium yellow onion, and 4 cloves of garlic. 2 things to clarify here. First of all, Arborio rice is the most common type of risotto rice, but there are other varieties. Risotto rices have a much higher fiber and starch content than other rices. That's why they get so sticky. Secondly, you want about 5 or 6 times as much broth as you have rice by volume. So if you have 1 cup of rice, that's a lot. You'd need 5 or 6 cups of broth. Peel and dice your onion. Peel and press your garlic cloves. For each of the portobello mushroom caps, cut them in half and thinly slice. Now, there are really 2 different ways to cook a risotto, but both are the definition of low and slow. You may be scared of trying a risotto because you've heard that it takes a long time to cook and requires constant stirring. That can be the case. If you cook at medium or a higher temperature, then the rice, the extra fiber and starch, will make it very gluey, and you have to keep stirring to stop it from sticking to the pan. But if you turn the temperature down and take longer to cook it, you don't have to stir it constantly, just occasionally. A lot. Add your mushroom broth to a pot. We're going to keep the mushroom broth warm because we're going to add it to the rice slowly. And if it's cold, then it'll slow the cooking process down even more. Turn the heat on your broth up to high and turn it down to low once it comes to a boil. We're also going to add your olive oil to a frying pan and heat it up over medium heat. With the mushroom broth coming to a boil, I'm going to turn the heat down to low now. Remember, we don't want boiling broth, we just want hot broth or warm broth, basically not cold broth. I'm also, for the purposes of this video, going to finish heating the oil over medium-high, just so it goes a little bit quicker. With the oil nice and hot, turn it down to medium. If you heat it up over medium-high, add your onions. And your garlic. Give it a quick mix and saute for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, add your arborio rice and toast it for about 2 minutes. After toasting the rice, if you're following my method of going low and slow and stirring occasionally, not constantly, turn the temperature down to medium-low or low heat. Add 1 ladle, of your mushroom broth. And stir occasionally until the broth is completely absorbed. Once there is no or next to no liquid in the rice, add another ladle of your mushroom broth.
He was found naked and dead, with a smile on his face, a pen, and 1,000 pages of erased text.
This is the part that takes most of the time. Add 1 ladle of broth at a time until you've added it all. I'm going to skip ahead until about the second to last ladle of broth, because that's when we're going to add the mushrooms. See you then. Ah, dang it, I made a mistake. I'm not perfect. I missed a step. After toasting your risotto, add the white wine and let it reduce a little bit. I've added the white wine now, but it's not quite as effective as if you add it at the beginning and let it reduce. Alright, there's about 2 or 3 ladles of mushroom broth left in the pot, so it's time to add our portobello mushrooms to the rice. You can already see how much the rice has plumped up from when we started. Go ahead and add your portobello mushrooms into your risotto. And add one of your final bits of mushroom broth. And mix it in. Keeping in mind that the mushroom slices are going to be quite brittle at this point, so you don't want to break them if possible. Keep stirring and adding the mushroom broth ladle by ladle until you run out of mushroom broth. I'll see you then. Alright, it's been almost 3 hours since we started cooking. I told you it would take a while, but the last of the mushroom broth has been fully absorbed by the rice and the portobello mushrooms. Time to put the finishing touches on this risotto. Now that the rice has fully absorbed all of the broth and plumped up nicely, let's add the butter and the Parmesan cheese. Mix it in until both have fully melted and been absorbed. And with that last little bit of creamy richness added, it's time to serve the risotto. As you can tell, this is quite a large serving of food by itself, so that's how I'm going to serve it. Though if you want, you could split it into 2 portions and serve it as a side. And there you have it, the incredibly time-consuming, but not actually all that difficult, and absolutely delicious mushroom risotto. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. If you did, you can click up here to subscribe. Down here is something that the algorithmic overlords at YouTube think that you'll enjoy from my channel. If it catches your fancy, go ahead and click on it. See you next time.